Welcome to another Dance Decade interview. DJ Hooks, the usual. In the background, you'll hear the dulcet tones of Mr. Denwood, and SA Samuel is on the visuals, so it'll be a decent setup. There'll be lots of information around the video, some links to different places and different things involved with what we're going to be speaking about. So without further ado, we're at 53rd degree or 53 degrees. It's a big club in Preston, and we've been at a Rave Tots do. So it's the next generation of little dancers. Anyone that loves those electronic beats, it's your parents and your kids having a great time. And I have a legend across from me. People have called him a godfather of certain parts of rave music, and I've got so many questions for this gentleman, it's outrageous. So Matt Nelson, it's a pleasure to meet. Slipmatt.
Good to meet you too, yeah.
All right,
nice one.
All good. Okay, so just the usual Dance Decade idea. It's very laid back. We just want to find out a little bit about yourself, how it all started, what makes what tickles your ivories, as it were, internally, and what you're doing for now, and sort of like events in the future. All right, sir. So just from today's point of view, we'd like to give a big thanks to the people that have done it. So how did you get involved in Rave Tots?
Yeah, Rave Tots come about, I think it's Big Fish, Little Fish that come up with it, or them or someone else that come up with the original idea.
Yeah.
And then Mike actually sort of come to me and said, I want to get involved in that. And we chatted, and I think he sort of looked at maybe joining forces with other people.
Yeah.
But then after a bit of a think about it, he's like, no, I'm going to start something myself and come up with Rave Tots. So yeah. I'm not involved in the business side of it, but obviously I've been DJing with them for since the start, and it is a brilliant concept. Every day I'm getting messages on Facebook. Yeah. Oh, Matt, because a lot of people seem to think it's my sort of business as well, which it isn't. But I'm getting so many people saying, bring it to my town, bring it down here.
It is such a good concept.
Yeah.
The selfies at the end and the appreciation the kids are having a really, really good time.
It's funny actually. Some bloke come up to me at the end today, and he's like, "Oh, it's so good for the kids and all that." I was like, "It's not about the kids, it's for the parents."
It's the parents to keep the kids entertained.
And then he went. It's for us, really, isn't it?
Yeah, as Denny would vouch for.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's got the full crew down, so to the Denwood clan. Okay, so we're now going to go back in history to when this gentleman first got involved in music. We like to talk about what their origins were and why they got involved, from the producers to the DJs to the promoters that we've done. Everyone has a starting point and a few basic questions that we've asked in the past. So where did your love of music come from? Where did the first time where you're not just listening to the radio, you wanted to listen to music that you wanted to hear?
Yeah, do you know what? I don't know where it come from. My mum and dad were sort of into music, but we wasn't a musical family at all. But I started playing records at 18 months old.
Right.
I'm talking like late 60s here. Yeah. We had like a big, one of them sort of cupboard record players where you'd load up the 7-inch singles.
4 or 5, 6
and then they go down automatically if you wanted. But yeah, so from 18 months old.
Always had an ear for music.
Yeah, I was like, Mum, records on. And she'd let me put the records on.
Superb.
And from then, I remember, I was talking about it with my mum the other day actually. I got my first, I was given my first record in a pram with my mum walking out the road. I can actually remember it, so I must have been about sort of 2 or 3 years old. I remember one of the neighbours come out of the house and he obviously knew, like, oh yeah, there's the boy from up the road that plays records. Tunes. And come and gave me records. It's a load of old crap. But I bought my first record when I was 4, out of my own pocket money. Yeah. I think it's 25p.
Brilliant.
And just from then on, my first 12-inch record was...
Really into vinyl, that's what the attraction was.
Big time, yeah. My first 12-inch record was Brown Girl in the Ring.
Yes, mate.
Which was like, I don't know, 1970 something.
Yeah.
First 12-inch record, when 12-inch mixes sort of first started coming out. My first 12-inch import, which I went up to Bond Street up in London at the age of 11, I think, was Sylvester, You Make Me Feel.
Brilliant.
£3.29, I think it was, a £3.25.
Absolute steal. Still costs that much
in
now.
In 1977, or whatever, 78.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant.
78, I think, yeah.
So that was your introduction to sort of like the idea of buying 12 inches and vinyl and stuff?
So from a very early age, I was just...
When did dance or sort of, specific, more electronic style music, when did you first hear that concept? So I suppose Sylvester, realistically, that was the start of that sort of like that generic, repetitive, disco-y.
That was the whole Saturday Night Fever explosion.
So it's from that explosion, really, yeah.
Well, I remember being in, I think it was last year at juniors, so I must have been about 10, so probably a little bit before that. I remember scratching into my desk, I love soul music.
Brilliant. So it was a soul start.
I went from like, rock and roll to pop music, all sorts of pop music, and then soul was sort of like sort of start of I'm sort of getting deep into the music.
Yeah, you're finding a specific genre rather than a broad
just the charts and stuff.
Yeah. So it was a soul and then disco and then
soul disco.
So hip hop, did you get into the hip hop scene because of the disco scene? Is what I got into and where the samples came from, and then you think, oh, why do I know that? And that's where hip hop was such an explosion.
It was
electros, yeah.
Then sort of hip hop and sort of house. So 86.
Yeah.
As soon as the house sort of started coming out in 86, early 86, I think.
Yeah.
I was on that.
Yeah.
And then big into sort of New York hip hop sound.
Right, really.
Marley Marl and
Marley Marl back in the day.
Massively into that.
Fantastic.
I put a post up the other day actually with a realistic mixer, my first mixer, and as soon as I got that with a crossfader, it was just scratching, trying to scratch.
Have I got a realistic mixer, Denny? Still got mine. I've got a photograph. I was going to send to you this morning. I totally forgot to send it to you. I was actually going to do a little live videos, but I've got a realistic mixer. It's an I can't remember which one it is. It's got the crossfader.
For the WD-40.
Yes. And mine actually had an effects button. So you put it in, it echoed from 0 to 12.
Oh, really?
Mate, it was well good. So yeah, posh one. Yeah, Tandy, love you.
In fact, before that, Lime, I went to school with Lime, so we knew each other from like 11, 12 years old.
Yep.
He bought a set of, it was like a proper mobile disco thing, 2 Garrard decks and some sort of long built-in mixer. And we actually took that apart and fitted in. We went and got some switches from Tandy, drilled a hole and linked it up through the faders so we could then flick a switch and then transform.
Right.
With this button, it's like a button on a string, so we go.
It's revolutionising it. That is mint. Yeah. You and
that's how focused we was on.
Yeah, just getting
involved.
Different that's class, man. So you just mentioned Lime then. So I mean, I started buying house music in 87, 88. I'm a little bit younger than you. He had an easy paper round. That's all I'm going to say. So it was sort of 1989. You brought out a track, and I'm trying to think, it was your first Slipmatt and Lime tune.
Do That Dance.
And it was almost like a Todd Terry break feel to it. It was very much Todd Terry, but then you had a Roland 303 stab on it as well. It was like a real sort of deep acid loop.
Well, you've totally got me sus there, but it was Do That Dance, and the flip side was It Ain't Nothing. But we actually, I won't say exactly copied, but we was mental fans on Todd Terry, so he got it down.
Mate, yeah. Was that Limehouse?
And we sort of, I say copied, but we sort of took the drum patterns from Weekend, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was Weekend, and we nicked.
You elaborated and you evolved some Todd Terry tracks.
Exactly, yeah.
That's exactly.
It's
evolving.
Growing,
that music.
It's expanding, yeah. And we took an Armando sample from Land of Confusion, looped it.
Yeah, and that was the
303.
303. I love the 303.
All full of samples.
Yeah. I got a 303 given to me out the back of a car. Really? Rylands Estate in Lancaster. You got everything from there. 60 quid it cost me. I think it was sold at like £500 because they were just so rare back then.
You go in the studio now and you see a 303 and you just think, proper.
Yes, absolutely proper. Yeah, you're right, man. All good. Okay, so from Slipmatt and Lime to SL2, which is obviously Slipmatt and Lime 2 potentially. Yeah, 2 of you, it's all good. Yeah. You've got Fantasia and now to SOS, do you know what I mean? So you've got the largest raves that Britain was famous for back in the sort of like the early 90s. I mean, I was involved in the northern scene, which was the Hacienda as one of my meccas as a kid, but it was the Blackburn rave scene that was just massive when we were doing it as children, and that's what got my love of electronic music, and our people didn't want to go to a nightclub. They wanted just to express themselves and enjoy a real unique experience, and it's still going on. Whatever it is that you've been producing in Beaven and I've been involved in, it still works and it keeps people involved. So, your first pirate radio station, Raw FM, is that where you started?
Raw 104.4.
Raw 104. So, how did it start for you when it became to let's say getting your first gig? When did you get your first set? Let's go back a little bit further. First decks. Where were your first decks?
My first decks were from a shop called High Tech in Dalston in Hackney in East London. I wanted to find some decks with a pitch control. I didn't have enough money for Technics. Probably didn't even know about them then. I can't remember what year it was, but it was early days. So I'd found these. God knows where I found them. Can't think of it really. Weren't on the net then.
No.
How would you search for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Magazine or something.
You would, yeah. It would.
Or phone people up.
Yeah.
But I found these Citronics decks with
Citronic
decks with a shitty little pitch control, but it meant you could mix.
Yeah.
So I found these in this shop called High Tech, and they had an MRT60 mixer in there as well. I said, right, I want 2 of them with the MRT60 in like a unit, like a coffin thing. And I was like, oh, right, okay, yeah, we can do that, sorted out a price. And that was my first setup. The funny thing is, after I bought that, they then just mass produced these things and sold off. So there's a bit of a like, I designed that.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Every time I went back in there, I was like, oh, you got another, oh, right, that must be selling well. That got taken by the DTI.
Right.
About soon after, I think probably late 88 or early 89, probably late 88. Was in a tower block in Hackney Wick. Deverell Point it was called. It's been knocked down since. And then after we got done by the DTI, we then moved from the 18th floor up onto the 20th floor, the top floor, and took the aerial out of the balcony so that no one could see us, which was like, obviously why we got done. And we didn't get caught after that, actually. And we got a set of 1200s.
And you got to see your 1200s. All good. Mine were SLBD 22s. Right. They were my decks. They've been around the family. We've got a few DJs around where we live. Everyone's used those decks. And then I got my 1210s in 1990.
Yeah, well, no, same as me. Actually, I bought 1200s and then we did a deal with them with the radio station. So they took them and then I bought a set of 1210s in 1990.
Yeah, still got mine. My originals, yeah.
Same. Oh, yes, never even been serviced, have you?
No, well, I've done them once. It was just the cables just started crackling a bit on the old the earthing. But yeah, all good. So, talk about Fantasia. So, how did you get to the point where you were DJing enough for someone to say, do this rave? Or was it the fact that you just knew lads and you knew the organisers, as it were?
Well, no, actually, it was Raindance.
Was it Raindance? It was
Raindance.
My apologies.
So I was into house from 86, and then the rave scene sort of really blew up in 88. And my brother, being a bit of an entrepreneur, was, right, hold on a minute, there's all these raves going on. He was into clubbing, we used to go clubbing together and stuff, early days and that as well. So he was like, right, maybe I should do a rave. So it's sort of, for me being about playing all this music and being into it, and he set up Raindance.
So he set up Raindance?
And he set up Raindance with two other partners.
Yeah, good effort, and that's how it started.
Off the back of me, really. I'm not taking the glory for that.
No, but you gave him the concept.
I was involved in it in that way. The fact that it's sort of come from the idea of having all this music around it.
It's exactly the same on a completely small level. My brother came back from living abroad, saw me, just started to get into music. We were going down to Blackburn every week. He said, why don't we set our own up?
There you go.
The school across the road was exactly the same. He got some lads involved. And that's what started me in playing in public, was just someone saying...
Same thing, yeah. So obviously...
He was a rebel, I was into music.
Yeah, totally. That's how it works. Yeah. So then
that was Raindance.
I became resident DJ for them. They started in September 89.
Yeah.
Just before that, I managed to get a set up in Camden. Actually, I think it was late '88. Actually, would have been my first set out playing alongside Cold Cut.
Really?
Which was pretty cool. Yeah.
Plastic jamming people. It's all good.
Yeah. So he set up Raindance with two other people. Ray Spence, who was running a club up in the West End. My brother was a cabbie at the time, and he used to drive him up to the West End and back, and sort of knew he was involved, and got to chatting to him. He was like, "Oh, okay, maybe we could help you promote it."
Yeah.
And the other fellow was called Lou, who owned the site, or he leased the site down at Jenkins Lane.
That's mad, that. So, how long were you DJing for before you thought, I want to make a tune? Did someone come to you and say, do you want to make a tune with me? Or did you think, I actually want to find something?
Do you know what? I was chopping up bits of music, and my dad bought, he didn't buy, actually got given from work, a reel-to-reel. So he had two of them, actually. He had a Tandberg and a Banging Over Some reel-to-reel.
Yeah.
And what you could do on the B&O one was, you could record on, say, the left channel, and then play that back and listen to it and record on the right channel. So a bit like playing with two decks sort of thing. Yeah. So I was doing that from like 14, 15.
And could you slow them down and speed up the...
Only by touching the...
Really, just a little bit of manualness. So you had to have the tunes quite similar anyway.
Or just on the record deck.
Yeah, tweaking. Yeah.
I mean, they weren't brilliant mixes.
No, but it's the concept of...
It'd probably be shocking now if I went back and listened.
But it's that concept, isn't it, though?
I've still got some of it on tape.
Right. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll be coming out of the archive. So
that was your first sort of fiddling around with music and thinking.
As my first fiddle, early '89 we started going in the studio. It sort
of. And this is you and Lime, was it?
Me and Lime, Me and Lime. It just sort of went hand in hand with playing music and whatever. It's just we've
got to do something, got to make something. Yeah.
And it was the culture at the time, wasn't it? You know, all of a sudden it went from sort of all the big 80s soul productions and stuff to people getting samples
minimalistic
and
sort
being
of.
able to make. We did our first tune in Double Trouble Studio in South London. In New Cross, Noisegate it was called.
The Rebels here and he's street tough.
It was Rebel MC's studio,
Yeah, Double Trouble. Great, good EP. So that was the first sort of, your introduction into it. We spoke briefly about, your first SL2 tune, 89. And then there was, On a Ragged Trip, Weighing My Brain, etc., etc. So the SL2 concept was it was new and unique to me. I liked, the Prodigy-esque. That was very, very different. It was that hip-hop beat that we'd been into as kids, like hip-hop electro, but then with a harsh, almost European, Belgian-y, techno-y type thing, and all of a sudden they just said, bollocks, we're throwing it all in a mix and see what happens. And all of a sudden this concept rose. You were involved in this sort of like this new sort of expansion of music. And Breaking Free, 94, this is the start of a completely new genre. Now for me, that was the origins of drum and bass, is when the first, the jungleistic scene of where it came from. And then you've formalised your own sort of, formed your own genre as in happy hardcore, as it were. I mean, who were your big influences?
I get told off for that as well.
You get told off for yes, a few people that say it's stuck and all that, like you not listening to it properly. Yeah. So what made you go from your reggae stabs and your funky sort of almost like electro style stuff into that very, very fast house beaty, hardcore?
I think it's sort of just natural progression, I think. To be honest with you, in the early days at Raindance, I think I sort of got noticed because I was playing a lot of the Belgium and Dutch stuff as well. But then I was still mixing it in with a breakbeat, and then me and Lime just went bang with DJs Take Control, big hip-hop breakbeat and stuff. But just sort of natural progression. So it was, we got to the end of 92, the SL2 thing had sort of been done, it had gone commercial, and then it was like everyone was a bit, what's going to happen next? It can't carry on as it was. No. And if you notice at the end of 92, most of the sort of big rave things stopped. It went a lot houseier, but the whole rave scene the whole music thing had got darker. We didn't want to go down the route of make commercial music, I suppose you'd say. No. So we just went back with underground.
And just did your own with the stuff that you really liked.
Just did our own thing. So music was getting faster, it was getting darker faster, hence, Breaking Free and stuff. But with the SMD happy hardcore thing, where it was so dark and so sort of breakbeaty and, no real sort of heart toughness to it. It was just all chopped up breaks and doom and gloom.
You wanted that 4/4 thump.
I just noticed a bit of an opening now. I was like, as a DJ, just thinking, I need something like Edge 1, a faster version of Edge 1 or something.
Brilliant.
And that's what SMD1 come out of, influenced by Edge 1. A little bit faster to keep up with the times. But I've just thought, no, people still want to stick their hands in there and
you can go for it. Yeah, there is that that fit that euphoric feeling for sure.
That was it for me.
So SMD, Slipmatt dubs, am I right? Yes. Yeah. So SMD1, told you it was that, Denny. Yes. All right. So how many are there? Because they're collector's items, you go on Discogs and stuff. People, I'm a vinyl collector. I love playing out live, but I do like finding tunes that have a poignant point of my history. Yeah. And then you have that little moment in time. So that collection. How many did you end up making?
Well, the reason it's called Slipmatt's Dubs is the first one was just for me to experiment with. It was never meant to be a single. I didn't think, I'm going to do this and put a single out. Yeah. It was just
a concept.
Exactly what I said. It was like, I just think that could work. So let's just do myself a dub. That'd be exciting. But then I did 4. I did 4, and then the whole thing sort of changed a bit again.
Because the YouTube videos, you need to do SMD. And you've got the mother of all gold chains on. Is that your hand that's putting it on the deck?
It is, yeah.
Yes, mate.
That's probably Shane on, didn't I, for that?
Yes!
I've still got that chain.
It's authentic, but I love it. No, it's good. Okay, so from there, so that was sort of like the boom of a genre that then you've now become classed as a godfather, as it were. Where did that take you, sort of, playing wise, and
all over the world. I mean, the SL2 thing took us all over the world, but the hardcore thing. I mean, it was huge again. We had 7,000 people in Wembley, and going to Australia playing to 10,000 people. It was just, it was a big time
So it's been as far as Oz. Did you do Asia at all? Did you get up to the Asian market?
I've played in Thailand quite a few times.
Right. Yeah.
Been to Japan a few times.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So not the States as such. Yeah. Yeah. You've done the States as well.
Yeah. Yeah. A few times. Yeah. Mexico. All over the place. Yeah.
We're going to go through a little bit of your history, just little sort of like basic questions. Your Mecca. What was a club that you went to as in a dance club? Not like when you were a kid, when you first went out nightclub and you try to score the ladies, because that's what everyone goes.
That would have been Tottenham Ritzy.
Tottenham Ritzy. Yeah. I had a Ritzy's where we were, and then we had
Ritzy,
International Discotheque.
84, 85 probably.
Yeah. So when was the first sort of house night, as it were?
Camden Palace.
Camden Palace. That was your
Camden
Mecca.
Palace.
Yeah.
88. Camden Palace.
Camden Palace.
That was me. Yeah.
That was
me,
you.
Lime, and all my mates.
And loving the new concept.
Not every week,
yeah.
but
was there still crews of like jazz dancers with spats and stuff and all that sort of stuff? Or
it was pretty ravey.
Was it ravey already by then?
It was pretty ravey. Yeah. I remember, funny, I always remember this, but I remember seeing what's it, Ricky from EastEnders, Syd
Armenia. Yeah.
Syd Armenia, who I've actually met a couple of times as well since. But I remember seeing him in the queue back in 1988. Yeah.
Do you want to come in, mate? Yeah. Well, hang on, won't fucking let you, will she? Hey. So your Mecca is then. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Camden Palace. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to your production things. If you could do a tune with any artist, live or dead, off the top of your head, who would you feel privileged to do that with?
Quite an interesting one actually. And this is a good little story. Probably Scientist. I'm really into reggae.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and dub.
Yeah.
So Scientist. I've been listening to him pretty much every day since like 1985 or whatever, give or take a few days here and there. And Rachel, my missus, saw a gig a few months ago down in Lewisham at a place called Fox and Firkin in
there
Lewisham.
You go.
And she's like, "Do you know Scientist is playing?" I was like, "What? What, the Fox and Firkin?" Well, the thing is, I've played at the Fox and Firkin a couple of times anyway, so I know the owner and the manager or whatever. And it's like, I've looked so many times on the internet to see whether he's not a DJ, he's a producer, but they do live things out and stuff. And I've never been able to find anything, hardly any information on him, and he's there. So straight on the phone to the Fox and Firkin, boom, yep, come down, Matt. Brilliant. Boom, no problem. Then phone him up again. What's the chance of meeting him? And I'm actually looking to do sort of a dub sort of style album this year.
Men.
So got in there, wicked night and everything. Got to meet him. Said, look, I've been following you for the real groupie thing. Been following you for ages. Can I have a photo with you?
Selfie.
Would you be up for doing some studio stuff next time you're over in the UK? Yeah, no problem, mate. Take my number. All that within a couple of weeks.
Number one on your speed dial.
Yeah, it's in my phone now.
Yes, mate. All good.
Yeah. So American number. He lives over in New York.
It's in New York, right? So it would be Scientist. That's who you'd love to do your collaboration with.
And the thing is, I might actually do it. This year.
Well, look out for that one.
That's
Dubs from this boy. That'll be mint.
Yeah,
That's a totally different concept with all your reggae stabs. That's brilliant. So moving forwards into nowadays. I mean, you've been involved in this scene for a long time. We first met sort of briefly at the PA's one at Preston when you were the presenter. I was downstairs doing the vinyl room only with some class lads, Jay, Daz, you name them, they were there. They were fantastic.
Amazing night.
So, from your point of view, this lad, absolutely.
Smashed it.
How well did he smash it? Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
So you've been in and around this for an old school night to be still going on.
Yeah.
We keep telling him, but he doesn't listen. It was brilliant, and there will be more. And the first was superb.
Yeah.
So that was where we were first introduced to each other. And I've been a collector of a few bits of your music for a long time. I'm getting round to it, but I can't wait to see this. I'm going to be DJing in Ibiza with this gentleman at SOS Festival from the 19th to 26th of May. You'd be an idiot not to even get involved. Check out all the links on this video afterwards. It's a steal, mate. Now, I'm a southerner by heart, so this is quite difficult because I sound like a northern monkey, but I'm actually a southerner. It's a steal. Seal of the fucking century, mate, and all that lot. All right, so yeah, you've got an unbelievable amount of acts. You've got an unbelievable venue in the hotels itself of Ibiza Rocks. It is iconic. The way that you look at it, the concept. The sun is going to join us, guaranteed. She's always going to be there for us. You've got Summon, we've got Es Paradis. Name the other clubs that are involved.
We've got Eden.
Eden.
Which is... It's amazing. Do you know what? It's the first club I ever played at in Ibiza in 1994. It was called Chaos at the time, and before that it was Star Clubs. It's got a big history.
Yeah.
It's been pretty much rebuilt since, and it's huge, and it looks absolutely amazing at the moment. I was there last year.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Aiden. So there's different concepts on this year. There's actually like a Dex Factor thing. So it's about trying to introduce new people who love this style of music.
We're going to have 10 DJs to play around the pool, probably two different heats. 10 DJs to play around the pool for 20 minutes each, and whoever's there can, whatever DJs and whoever we pick can judge and stuff. It's just going to be like a load of fun. And what a great opportunity!
Massive
for someone to be able to go there and play not only in Ibiza. It's not just some like beach bar or some little bar.
Looking out the sea with one person, you're at
It's Ibiza fucking
yes,
rocks.
I know, mate. It's absolutely fantastic. So the Dance Decade night that's on there, I'm privileged to be playing with Fades. Yes, mate. The PA's one was introduced by this gentleman. The PA's two was done by Fades. What a scratch artist that young man is.
Yeah. Oh,
and
mate.
Vibes, and we've got SL2. I think there might be a live PA from someone sat not so far away from me involved in that. We've got a Two Bad Mice. This is all off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember the fly. Two Bad Mice.
LSD,
massive
Fantasy,
yes, mate.
Rat Pack.
So so that's just the Tuesday, you know what I mean? So you're then we've got Rejuve, so Cypher and your crew, absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Like you say, K-Class, we interviewed them, Bobby, everything. They're
doing a whole day
fantastic.
with Rejuve. So we've got Rejuve pool party.
Fantastic.
At Ibiza Rocks, and then we all go down to a wicked place called Itaka, which is 2 floors. So we're going to have trance on one floor and real proper old school on the other. It's just the whole week is just packed full of stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a beach party for the whole day on the Wednesday. Which we're doing a wedding blessing as well.
I've read about this. This is class. So do you want to say more about this, or is it just?
I mean, that's all I can say really at the moment.
But whoever's involved, what a great thing to do.
Yeah, but the actual venue is it's beautiful.
Iconic. It's
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
We've got Shades of Rhythm there, and all these people to live singing. It's just. The whole week, I really can't wait. I can wait, but I'm excited about it.
No, that'd be fantastic. Soul Shades Rhythm this summer at Back to the Old Pool. They are a good live PA.
I'll tell you what, they're really hot at the moment.
Yeah, loved
really
it. Really good live sound as well. Nice MCing as well, boys. All good in the hood. So, question that we always ask, there's a couple of questions that are quite funny. I always ask this one, and then Denny has a stupid question that he makes me ask, and I hate it, but that's beside the point. You can bleep that one, Sam, to say fudging if you want. All right? So my question is guilty pleasure. We all have one. We have a tune that sometimes in our hour of need, we sing, we hum, we put it on. For me, George Michael, different corner. I've got 2 kids, I've got a missus, I've got a mum, I've got a dog, I've got all this sort of stuff going on. When your family's not going on and everything's down, bang that bad boy on, it centres me. From the age of 14, the lyrics just made me think of a different level. So for you, guilty pleasure.
I've got a tune like that, which I actually bought, as it goes, in 1975, which is John Lennon, Imagine. That is my tune.
That's your truth, you can write those lyrics down and you cannot get a flog in your throat when you read them out. You can't not, because it's
just the meaning behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just me all the way through. Yeah.
That's lovely, mate. No, I love that. And finally, all right, do you want to ask this question, Denny?
It's got to be a tricky one then.
It's got to be a question, or do you want me to do it? Tunes that you don't, a tune that you've made that you don't really like, for something that you really wish you hadn't done. So it's like a bounce. Is there a bounce track out there?
There's I wouldn't have put anything out that I really didn't like at the time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we were doing some stuff with Ministry back in, I think it was about 2007, 2008 maybe. Yeah. And there was a real bounce revival, like the old donk sort of thing. Yeah. So I can't think of one in particular, but there's some donk. There's
a niche that you wish you'd just pushed to one. Yeah.
That I might, if I was to look at them and think, maybe I don't want to see them anymore.
That face says 1,000 words. The track is irrelevant, but the face told it all.
Yeah.
So listen, this is a very busy man. He's had a huge day today. He's driven up. He's worked. He's working again. He's driving back down again. This is commitment and a half. So I would love to spend more time chatting with you, man, because you're an absolute legend. But
we will in Ibiza.
We're going to be spending all week chatting. Absolute bubble, no doubt.
I'll tell you what we should do actually at Ibiza Rocks. We should do like an after party thing. Just go on Facebook Live. Just talk a load of bollocks.
Facebook Live,
you do that?
All over it.
Yeah, between 19th and
26th, at some point we'll do one. Yeah.
Check out maybe we'll do it on the Strictly Old School Facebook page, whatever. Me and you.
Absolutely all over it. Just
load of bollocks.
Yeah, and just chatting. Yeah.
Ibiza shit, yeah.
All good. Get it in front of the camera.
Nice
Nice to
one.
meet you again. All
Great
right.
to meet you too.
Peace Dance Decade, SOS, summer, 19th to 26th of May. Cannot wait. Peace.